Alright, the next project for the 01 Suburban is going to be this AC Delco accessory belt drive component kit. So, let's take a look. By the way, there's the part number. So this should be for the air conditioner and this little tensioner. So do not cut the belt off the drive. This will damage the tensioner and could cause injury. Okay, well mine's broke already, so I'm going to show you that. We're also taking a look at the brakes, which the inside of this rotor doesn't look good at all. So if you have a plastic cover, take that off. It's 15 millimeter. 2 bolts on the bottom, 3 bolts on the top. So here's our tensioner. Looks like 215 millimeter. But it also looks like the water pump's leaking up there, so that's going to be a future project. I'm assuming the thermostat's right there, but more than likely that there's a water pump leaking there. So check your air conditioning compressor as well when you're up in here. Make sure that it's spinning. So when I was checking the tensioner, I was like, this thing's seized, but this spins, so we should be good. Although it looks like in order to get the accessory belt or air conditioning belt, we're gonna have to pull this belt to get it on. So first thing I'm gonna do is get you set up here, and then we'll take off the tensioner and we'll go from there. Alright, so 15 millimeter on a swivel and like a 4-inch extension. It's really tight in here, so I'm thinking about putting it on a 3/8. Just a little smaller, get more room. It's the same setup here as I had before, but on 3/8. So let's see if it fits any better. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. I just have to find a little bit longer extension. Let's see, we can get in here. seems to be this brake line somebody replaced that isn't bent the way the factory one was, and it's not in the clips. So hopefully I'll stay there. Let's see if this is loose enough. Okay, we got one bolt out. Let's see if we can get this other one. Okay, so there's the old tensioner, which, I mean, it's shot. I mean, you know, like you look at this and it's touching. So, I don't know, the bearing is totally shot or something. Anyway, I'll show you the new one. Here's the new one. It's not touching. I mean, it's real close, but the spin's nice. So anyway, should just fit right back up here. That. So I'll put this bolt in. Get this other bolt in here. Alright, now we tighten this up. Let's see what size this tensioner is. Okay, so looks like you just do it with that. Time to check this belt. So this kit from AC Delco, this belt's Gates, so pretty nice. Now above you're gonna have to loosen the tensioner, which is another 15 millimeter, to get this belt out of the way so we can get this one around. So I'm gonna try to fit this behind here, and then I assume this is gonna come up and around the tensioner. And then around the compressor. So now I just gotta get this back around the crank pulley, which it's pretty tight, so we're gonna have to come off the tensioner. And around the crank pulley. Okay, so around the crank. Now we just got to get it on the tensioner. So we're going to try to put this in here. Pull this down. Set that up on there. Now I just got to get this in the grooves on the clutch. AC clutch. So yeah, I think we're on. Yeah, we're on the crank. We're on the idler. I mean the tensioner, and around the crank. So we should be good. Now we just got to get this belt back on. So I'm gonna go back up on top, which you may not be able to see here. We'll see if we can get that other belt, the main accessory belt, back on. Alright. So it looks like this has got to go down around the idler and then over to the tensioner. Around the crank pulley. So now I got to figure out what am I not on, because it's not tight enough. Probably the power steering pump. No. On that. Oh yeah. I gotta come down around the water pump, I think. So yeah, in between the power steering pump and the crank. All right. So it appears that this needs to come around. The here. That. I have to grab this from the top. Okay. Now grab your 15. Okay, so yes, for me this tensioner is not very tight. Probably another belt I'm gonna have to change and another tensioner. I don't know if it should be that loose. I could do it by hand almost without a tool. So the belts all look like they're on good now. So we just got to put the air intake back on so we can start it and see if everything's in here working right. So let's do that next. Let's put the air intake back on. Everything looked good from up top. Let's put this intake back on. I'll put you in the holder. connector, the mass airflow sensor, and this cover. Tighten up these screws. Okay, so just gotta tighten up this clamp. Sure this is on all the way. Looks good. Okay, let's start it up. Well, evidently that felt good. Looks like the tension is working out here. Now, I think we just gotta turn on the compressor. See if we got an air conditioning system defroster now. My guess is that shaking is gonna calm down once that belt wears into those grooves a little bit. There hasn't been a belt on there in a while. It's been kind of rusty. So let's see what happens when we turn on the air conditioner. Let's go see. Look, you can see it leaking. That's leaking good. So, I can't tell where though. It looks like where that, I don't know, it's like, that's a housing or what? No, actually, look up by the crank. I see it actually leaking up there. It might be just leaking down. It's coming out from the bottom of the water pump pulley. So we'll probably end up doing the thermostat and water pump on the next one. And it's a bummer that the air conditioner compressor doesn't work. I mean, it's kind of cold out here, and there's usually a cutout when they'll kick in, but I don't think it's likely it'll work. This has got front rear air, so it's probably a leak. But anyway, that's how you do the tensioner. It's pretty cheap, it's easy, and easy to get to. And then you just put this cover back on, which I think we're just gonna leave the cover off for now. Because obviously I'm going to have to get back in here. So, thanks for watching.